Thanks, Goose. Hex, are you ready to get feisty?
Sure.
Let's do it. So let's get the obvious comparison out of the way first. This game looks a lot like Limbo.
Yes, but to be fair, Feist has been in development for 7 years, so they actually started work on it before Limbo was released.
True, but while Limbo was in development, so was Feist.
Okay, so we don't really know who influenced who, but let's just agree that they both look similar and they both look great. You play as Feist, or at least you play as this little furball who I assume is called Feist. I never actually say that that's his name, but he seems like a Feist.
I'm not sure if Feist is a boy or a girl.
Well, I think from what we know of video games, if something is a girl, you put a bow on its head.
That does make sense. Well, little Feist has been trapped in a box by these jerks, who also seem to have his feisty friend captive. Worse still, they seem to be keen to eat you both for lunch. But being the feisty Feist that he is, he heads off to rescue his friend.
Feist can jump, grab things to use or throw, and push stuff. He's also quite a floaty little fellow too, so this isn't really about tight platforming, but more about taking a walk through a very eerie, very lethal forest.
As you progress, you'll come across a whole bunch of nasty creatures. From these stabby guys, to these shooty guys that you can grab and use as a gun. Surprise worms. And spiders. Lots of spiders.
You'll sometimes find stuff to throw at them or sticks to hit them with, which will break when you do. But it's always satisfying to give them a good whack and keep going on your way.
Occasionally, you'll stumble across traps that will insta-kill you if you're not careful. But if you are careful, then you can actually use them to take down enemies.
I wouldn't say this is a puzzle game, but there are a few times when you'll have to figure out how to get through a blocked path. Although the answer usually just involves jumping up into a tree.
This is a pretty short game, but I do like that even in that short time, they try and throw new ideas at you that don't overstay their welcome. Like these sticky blobs. They show up in one area, help you climb a few rocks, and then you never see them again.
At the end of most of the levels, you come across one of those jerks as a kind of boss fight, and these all play out really differently.
Yes, the boss fights. Hex, this is the point where I went from thinking, okay, this is a pretty cool little game, to, no, this is stupid and I do not care for it. It's been in development for 7 years. I would have thought at some point they would have play tested these sections and thought, these aren't fun.
It's a massive difficulty spike for sure, but they must have wanted it to play that way.
But why? They're so frustrating. And that's mostly because you can't tell how much health you or the boss has. And it doesn't give you any indication that you're actually doing damage to them either. Not to mention that they don't follow the 3-hit rule. It's just some randomly large amount of hits.
Yeah, it just seems like you're not doing any damage to them, which doesn't make for satisfying combat. And in the end, I wasn't a fan of that floatiness as well. Sometimes you'll get hit and then uncontrollably bounce between enemies until you die.
Yeah, that frustrated me too. It just makes the game feel very clumsy. The animation and art style is a strong point though. The shifting colours of the forest and the smooth animations and those great creature designs make it an easy game to look at, even if it isn't very much fun to play. What are you going to give it, Hex?
I just didn't find the platforming or the puzzles very interesting. I mean, there is an undeniable charm to Feist, but without the gameplay to back it up, I'm giving it 2 stars.
Yeah, this had a lot of potential, but I had a bad time. I'm giving it 1.5 stars.